up, guys? Kaributena, welcome back to my channel. You all know that I love a good NCLEX study aid video, so that is what I'm here to share with you today. When I was taking my NCLEX, which is already almost 2 years ago, I was all over YouTube trying to find the best resources and additional study aids on the internet. And I was also trying to measure my chances of passing based on what other people were sharing in their videos that helped them pass in like 75 questions. Now, although I passed my NCLEX, one of the things that I do really wish I had had when I was studying that I think would have decreased my amount of time studying was visual aids. The way I had studied for most of nursing school was through teach-back method and using a lot of whiteboards and things like that. Obviously a lot of practice questions, but I didn't always feel like it was super tailored to me. I had to go out and tailor it to myself. Now, the methods that I use obviously were helpful in learning and retaining information long-term, but because I had just gone through 4 years of nursing school and I was probably only had about a month to study for the NCLEX, I needed a way to study my weakest points quickly and retain them at least for that short-term period until I could pass my boards. So when it came down to the final weeks of studying, I think looking back, I probably would have really benefited from having pictures or mnemonics and things that would have helped me retain the information in a shorter amount of time, but still help me study and focus on those weak points. And speaking of mnemonics and pictures, I am happy to tell you guys about this video's sponsor, which is Picmonic. Now, studies show that students actually do learn and retain knowledge better when they are giving visual aids, such as pictures, and mnemonics also help them retain information. So Picmonic combines the two to kind of facilitate that research-based evidence practice for studying to help you guys study better and quicker. This not only makes studying easier, but it makes it actually more fun and enjoyable and a little bit less tedious and tiresome so that you can maintain focus even longer when studying. So reading the title of this video, you're probably wanting to know, Maddie, what is this must-needed study routine that I should implement in order to pass the NCLEX in as few amount of questions as possible? And that's what I'm going to get into now. Everything for me kind of boils down to 3 tips that I can think of to help you guys study most effectively. The first is studying your weakest subjects so that you are optimizing your time well. Second is to go back and learn from the basics. It's hard to understand and learn a topic if you don't remember the foundation and basics to it. And the third is to use study tools with algorithms to ensure that your time is not being wasted, and that way the algorithms kind of measure how quickly and well you're retaining the information and constantly changing up your study routine so that you're optimizing your time and not wasting time on material that you've already mastered. So I'm going to talk about each of these 3 tips in more depth along with today's sponsor Picmonic and showing you guys how you can use the study routine and accomplish those 3 goals. So starting with that first tip, one of the ways that I personally passed the NCLEX in 75 questions was once again studying my weakest topics and not wasting time on topics that I knew I had mastered, such as the cardiac system and certain pharmacological drugs and things like that. Those I had a really good handle on, so I needed to focus on weak spots like obstetrics, pediatrics, and mental health. Picmonic actually uses repetitive quizzing with that algorithm that I talked about to keep you updated on your weakest spots so that you can constantly master them, but then also know when you can move on to the next weak spot. Students can reinforce what they learn and track their progress with thousands of built-in rapid review multiple choice questions. Coming back to the second tip, which is going back to the basics, sometimes with the study aids that I was using, because I used UWorld and RITI, which were fantastic, but sometimes with those I got a lot of quiz questions in which that my study aid materials focused a little bit more on the basics and gave me a kind of almost a refresher course. So that way I wasn't just getting hit with lots and lots of multiple choice questions that I wasn't going to be able to answer unless I went back and reviewed content. And then I wasn't doing thousands of questions. I was reviewing the content, and when I went back to the questions, it got so much easier because my understanding was better. Now, because I didn't have that, I want to tell you guys that Picmonic luckily has a resource just like this. So to go along with the quizzes that you're taking, they do have kind of back to the basics type videos. So that way you can review that before you even begin quizzing. So for example, once again, my week subject was OB and mental health, to be more specific. So let's say I was using UWorld and I was getting a lot of questions that were mental health related questions, but I wished that I had gone back and reviewed SSRIs. SSRIs are a type of drug that is commonly used to treat depression. Now, I was getting a lot of questions on SSRIs, and I realized nowadays that I needed a video or some kind of study tool that went over SSRIs. Well, again, Picmonic has a video that is similar to that, along with so many other videos that covers SSRIs. It tells you about the ending of it, so you recognize the drug when it comes up in a question. And then it tells you the common side effects and gives you all these fun pictures and memorable ways to also remember how these side effects are going to affect people. This way, when you go back to the question, it's solidified better in your brain and you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get the question right each time. You actually remember it, so you get all of them right. All right, and then the final and third tip, which was optimizing your time frame for studying and your schedule by using an algorithm, so that way when you're mastering a subject, you can move on to the next subject that is your weakest spot. Intelligence-based repetition algorithms automatically adjust to your learning needs, so you'll be reminded to review the right information at the right time, increasing long-term retention. Picmonic actually applies these repetitive algorithms for you guys. And obviously, just like I said, it will give you reminders to study the topics that you need to most. So when you're starting to feel kind of discouraged, maybe you haven't been getting questions right and you kind of want to go back to what you know just so you feel better, it will remind you that this is your weakest spot and this is what you should be focusing on to optimize your time. Aside from just these study tools, Picmonic isn't just for nursing students, it is for all types of healthcare students, including medical students. So make sure you share it with your friends and buddies who are other healthcare workers, because we're all in this together. They also have flashcards and long videos that are longer than just their 2-minute ones. Picmonic also offers you playlists not just on a certain nursing subject, but also the different parts of the anatomy. So just as an example, I chose the nervous system so that you guys could see seizures. You click on this part and it gives you a quick overview, and then you can play the 2-minute video and even try a quiz first if you would prefer. And to go with seizures, they have a little character named Caesar to help you solidify the information better. And then it walks you through step by step different types of seizures. And in case you're wondering how effective Picmonic is, the Picmonic learning system is actually research proven to increase retention by 331%, guys. That way you can remember more in less time. Thank you again to Picmonic for sponsoring today's video, and if you guys want to check them out and use them as a resource, please see the link to their website in the description box below. I hope that this video is helpful for you guys if you decide to implement any of these tools or tips. I hope that you will let me know in the comments down below what worked for you, and then also let me know if you passed your NCLEX, because I would love to find out and just be able to congratulate you guys. If you enjoyed my channel and this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can see more. I have created an NCLEX playlist guide, and I will add this video to it so that you guys can hopefully see a couple different ways you can study for the NCLEX and how to optimize your studying time. Thank you so much for being here and returning to my channel, and if you're a new subscriber, I hope to see you at the next video. As I always say, tutunana, or I will see you later.